Mid-size sedans have had a bit of a renaissance lately, with changes that run deeper than your average facelift or new model generation. Apart from the usual battering from SUVs big and small, there's also the case of the higher executive sedan segment having just gone extinct. The newest wave of mid-size sedans, then, has had to step up in size, spec, power, tech, premium feel and, yes, price too. In fact, Hyundai calls its all-new Verna a mid-large sedan, a classification it also confers on its rivals, the City, Slavia and the Twos, based not only on their larger size, but their larger price tags too. For its new generation Verna, Hyundai has really wiped the slate clean and started over. It leads the way for future Hyundais, being built on a new platform with a radical new design. Overseas, in fact, the larger Elantra and Sonata have just been given facelifts to align with this new look. Its defining feature is a slim LED light bar across the nose, which is the brand's new sedan signature. The headlights split off and relegated lower down in the form of non-projector LEDs and halogen indicators. With the new Verna, diesel is officially dead in the mid-size sedan segment. What you get instead are two petrol engines, the 1.5-litre MPI, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine mated to a 6-speed manual or 8-step CVT, or a 1.5-litre TGDI, direct injection turbo petrol 4-cylinder engine, mated to a 6-speed manual or 7-speed dual-clutch auto. We got a chance to drive all but the base MPI manual. The 115 horsepower naturally aspirated petrol is familiar by now, having appeared in the previous Verna and the Creta, apart from the Kia Seltos and Carens. It's refined, with an even spread of power and performance that feels ample for the city and adequate out on the highway. The difference here is that the CVT feels better tuned than even the one in the Creta. They've managed this while retaining good headroom, and with no increase in the exterior height of the vehicle. It's all down to better packaging and that fastback roof. Up front, the design feels like a proper generational leap, with a minimalist and horizontally oriented look replacing the rather generic V shape of before. The shelf-like dashboard has full-width AC vents with brushed silver accents, and an LED ambient light bar that extends onto the doors. The dual 10.25-inch infotainment and instrument screens are an upmarket touch similar to the Ioniq 5, and eliminate the need for a hooded binnacle. The touchscreen is angled towards the driver, as is the central console below it, although the digital dials are still more a backlit panel than a proper color screen like in the Creta or Alcantara. The new two-spoke steering wheel design looks futuristic, the metallic finish of the switches feels upmarket, and it's adjustable for rake and reach. There's a slim panel on the dash that alternates between AC and infotainment controls at the press of a button, and while that might sound gimmicky, it's incredibly effective in practice. It wouldn't be Hyundai without some class-best features, and while rivals have caught up, the Korean brand still has a few tricks up its sleeve. The aforementioned dual-purpose control panel is a good example, as is the freestanding dual-screen setup, but it's the addition of heated and ventilated front seats, as well as semi-power adjustment. Height adjust is manual, for the driver's seat that stand out. Other features of note are drive modes, a great sounding 8-speaker Bose sound system, wireless phone charging, wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, connected car tech, auto headlamps, auto engine stop-start, a sunroof, and keyless entry and go. It still has two physical knobs which are easy to use with muscle memory while driving, and though some functions are on a touch panel, that's still better than going into a submenu on the touchscreen. Quality, as is generally the case in Hyundais, is very good, with generous soft-touch material on the dash and great plastic quality all around. There's no huge swathes of flat, dull plastic like in the i20 and Creta, and even the hard plastic panels in the door cards have been textured to look like leather. Steering has always been one of the barriers to spirited driving in a Hyundai Verna, and unfortunately, that hasn't been completely resolved. It turns out the driving modes also add weight to the steering, but, again, the effect is so minuscule, I had to go back out again just to double check. It's miles better than the Vernas of old, but still far from the last word in feedback, weight or precision. What it's great at is being light and effortless, so when you're just mooching around town or parallel parking, you'll really appreciate it. What has seen a marked improvement is the suspension and ride quality. What was once an overly soft, bouncy setup was rectified in the last generation with a lot more control, but this came with the side effect of thuds and crashes through bumps. This time, they seem to have ironed it out and found a happy balance that's good for the driver and the driven. It still errs more on the side of comfort, with nice soft-edged low-speed bump absorption.